Who am I? I'm the greatest. Who am I? I'm getting paid. Who am I? I'm so flagrant. Who am I? I'm the greatest. Who am I? I'm getting paid. Who am I? I'm so flagrant.
What's going on, y'all? This is Boss Row. Here's your reading for your career for the month of September. All right, guys, if you like this reading, please like, share, subscribe for me. Thank you so much. Let's get started with your reading. So the major thing I was meditating on, guys, was they see your confidence as a threat, okay? You got people in your environment. They know where you're supposed to be at. They know where you're going, okay? And for them, you may see people around you that are at a higher position that you are right now. They're like, at a higher status, but they're wearing a mask. It's not their true self. They feel a sense of insecurity in their field, okay? Even if you guys are in creative endeavors, the people who are your peers see your light. They know that you have that drive to get to where you need to go to, okay? You don't need that validation, okay? You could hear this person talking, and they could be even on social media. They always need that person to give them a cosign. You guys don't need that, okay? And they see that. They see they're peaking your success. They're peaking your gains at, where you are right now. Like I said before, you guys could still be in the beginning phases, okay? But they're peaking that, okay, you know what? This person right here, they don't need all that extra talk. They don't need all that, extra juicing up to get to their next level in life, okay? You guys know what success is for you, okay? You guys know how to approach that in a different level. And this person sees that in a threatening way, okay? But just mind your business with what you're doing. Don't worry about how they see you, okay? Because with them looking at you on this type of level, okay, it's going to bring about a sense of, it's going to mess them up. It's going to throw them off their game, okay? While they're checking for you, okay, it's going to throw them off as far as how they're getting money on their own endeavors, okay? So, don't worry about, the bait. Don't worry about them trying to sway the room, because the room already sees where you're coming from, okay? And they're realizing that, okay, the loudest person in this room is the most unstable, okay? And the thing about it is, guys, this person has to be very aware, because they can mess with their brand, because they could go into a space where they try to do what you're doing, okay? And it takes away from their own brand identity, okay? You guys have a sense of strong brand identity as far as what you're doing, okay? Even if it's in an office environment, you know how to maneuver on a chessboard to get to where you're trying to get to, okay? You know your moves, because you know the goals that you have in mind, okay? And it's perfectly aligned as far as your pathway, okay? This person kind of they work to what they were trying to get to in life, okay? People around you in their space, they work to as far as getting to their personal level, as far as their growth and their success. But it always felt like they had an imposter syndrome type of perspective when it came down to their wins, okay? You guys know that you won because you worked hard. You guys know that you're going to win because you're going to work hard, and you have a sense of that identity in what you're doing in life, okay? This person doesn't have that same type of mindset, and guess what? It's going to cause them to hinder their growth and hinder their their success story, because their success story is going to wind up trying to mirror yours, okay? And that's going to cause their brand to kind of be a little bit of a self-sabotaging situation, because people are like, what, that's not how you go about your business. I don't know how you're acting in this particular way, because when you came in, this is what you were giving to us in this matter, okay? I'm familiar as far as your growth on this avenue, okay? You're trying to mirror what this person trying to do over here, okay? I see their brand, I see their identity, but what does that have to do with you, okay? And you guys can be in a healthy space just to know that, your creativity, your mindset, your natural way of being, and as far as how to expand upon your wins or how to expand upon your growth, that's going to move you to the next level, okay? Even if it's in a space right now where you're slow and steady wins the race, you're going to hit your goals. You're going to hit your milestones, okay? Let's go into the hard truth deck here. So we have blind spots. Okay. Let's see. We have unaligned. I'll pull one more card. Humiliation. Yeah. Let's see. Blind spots. Your limited perspective is causing you to miss important detail. Expand your views, seek input from trusted sources for what you may be overlooking, okay? You guys are in this space right now, especially if you're in the space with growing your creative projects. You're looking to see, okay, what else is needed, okay? What else makes me more polished, okay? What makes my brand easy to align with people when viewing my material, okay? This could be like in music. This could be, like I said, on YouTube. It could be on different things where you're looking to really grow and understand what sets you apart, okay? You're having people around you in your environment really look and analyze, little things about what you're doing, okay? You're trying to just get to your own particular success story, but you're doing it in a very methodical type of way, okay? You're really aligning to see, okay, what actually fits for you, okay? And you're taking those steps. And I think that these people who are around you, okay, who are not aligned, okay, so we got that's unaligned, they never really took those steps and those measures to really understand what makes their brand more successful, because you already know what you're doing. You're just making it more like precise, okay? You're having it in a way where it's like, okay, this is going to garner more attention, but I know where I stand as far as my growth, okay? This person's unaligned. So we got this path will be unfulfilling and starve your soul. You'll encounter unnecessary obstacles and challenges meant to redirect you, okay? The people who are trying to follow you or try to copy you, they're going to be unaligned. They're going to see a lot of their growth is going to be stagnated, okay? They're not going to see that same level of success if they dip into your creative venture, okay? Because like I said, we're all different people, okay? We all go about, handling things in a different manner. When you establish yourself, especially when you establish yourself in a growing perspective, you have to make sure that you align with how you want to be presented, okay? This person always sort of like felt that, their alignment was not really meant to really match it never really matched them, okay? Then that's what happens when you wind up changing your identity in the workspace or in creative projects. You always feel like you're missing something, or you always feel like, okay, you have to change your presentation. When you know who you are, you're not going about changing your presentation. You won't feel unaligned, okay? And we got humiliation. The fear of being judged is holding you back. Criticism will always come. So choose that which brightens your soul, no matter the judgment, okay? And I think that comes from, not only it goes from you guys, but also goes from people who are observing you. Being in your truth, hey, not everybody's going to be aligned with you, okay? There's going to be some people that's not going to understand it. There's going to be some people that's not going to understand your brand, okay? And guess what? It's not going to be a humiliating factor when you know who you are, okay? It's going to be humiliating when a person is not really aligned in their particular brand, and they're trying to mirror other people, because it becomes like, okay, this is cringe, okay? This is not what I'm used to, okay? You're going to see people who are going to put in their input about you when they realize that, okay, this is not something that I really envision for this person, okay? And that's when it comes that secondhand embarrassment of these people who are trying to copy your energy they're going to face, okay? You're not going to be in that humiliation space, because you already know how to develop, how to move successfully, how to identify those blind spots, okay? I think for you guys, it will be more humiliation if you're not, aware as far as some blind spots in your career endeavors, okay? Meaning like, okay, if you need to work on certain things, like I said, for your presentations or how you go about your board meetings, okay? You don't want to be in this humiliation space where you're not knowing what's going on in your environment, okay? To eliminate that humiliation, just make sure you know your blind spots, okay? For some people who are looking at your energy trying to copy you, okay, to eliminate that humiliation, okay, be your own person. Be your own person to really grow in your opportunities, okay? Don't worry about, trying to copy someone that doesn't really meet what your brand is, okay? Like, just because it's like popular for one person or they're seeing that growth doesn't mean that you're going to see that growth in that same type of environment, okay? Know your own personal brand to get to your own success, okay? That's what, a lot of people who are in your energy need to realize, okay? And maybe you guys are going to have that conversation with them to say, hey, you know what? You do good as far as, the energy that you bring to the table, how you go about, your own personal journey. Focus on that, okay? And you guys probably could give these people like more of a creative direction, okay? Don't take that time to lay it all out for them. They need to go about their own self-discovering journey. But I think this will help this person sort of take away those, that green colored glasses, that envy in them, to focus on their own self, okay? Because when you focus on other people, you're not going to get to your own personal goals, okay? Let's see here, guys. I'm going to go into the Life Happens deck here. See what I got. Okay, so we got new outlook, You got say less, okay? Counseling. We got heartbroken. We got glow up, okay? We got one more card to pull. We got crisis. And we got awakening, okay? So the new outlook, you guys are having a new outlook in your career field, okay? You're realizing that you don't have to say a lot in a situation about your growth process. You know what you're planning on doing, okay? When it comes down to like, transitioning to another job opportunity, you're looking at that new job opportunity. You're saying, you're not going in there running your mouth. You're observing what comes into your direction, okay? You're looking at the people, you're looking at your new team, and you're looking at it from a space where it's like, okay, I'm in this growing seat with you guys, but I'm not gonna like overtop my experience or my knowledge. I'm looking to see how you guys operate, and then I'm gonna take my knowledge, okay, and see what's gonna be the best alignment for our team to grow, okay. If you're in a space where you're growing in your own creative endeavors, okay, your creative projects, you're looking to see, okay, you know what? Let me, instead of like telling about, you're saying less, where you're like, I'm not juicing myself up online. I'm just gonna go about showing what's going to make my brand more of a success story, okay? You're going about fine-tuning, little things as far as like, your creative endeavors to make them more polished, like I said, to give them that, edge above your competition. You don't got to do a lot of talking to get to that level, okay? Like I said, individuals who are looking to really, copy your energy, to, rip your style, they're going to need some counseling, because all these papers, okay, they're so used to changing who they are, okay, to fit a mold that doesn't really serve them, okay? They're always about changing, when they see someone else is on that same successful path, okay? They're all about, taking away from their own identity and really being in a space where they're looking to like, be that, that person to really adapt towards any situation, okay? And sometimes with your brand, it's about subtle changes, and you guys have mastered that, okay? That new outlook is not about, changing who you are every 6 months or every couple of years, okay? You're about subtle changes to make it a part of you and to make it seem more realistic, okay? And these people are going to be heartbroken, okay? Because they're going to be heartbroken. Some of you guys are going to hit your glow up, okay? And it's going to bring in a lot more money. It's going to bring in a lot more stability, okay? And they're so busy, instead of, like I said, worried about their own bag, okay? They're worried about your glow up, okay? When you focus on your own race, okay, then you won't wind up being in a situation where you're heartbroken on somebody else's, okay? Because like I said, this is going to put them in a crisis, okay? Because they're going to be losing money, okay? Hands going to be out there reaching for the sky, because they're realizing that with me being so obsessive about, the energy in my environment, in my space, I'm losing money in my own security, okay? And guess what? You guys are in this healthy space. You're already awakening to know what move to move in the right direction, okay? And guess what? That's going to put them in that crisis mode, okay? Because you guys know mentally what's going to take you to the next level. You guys know mentally, and even in that, like I said, that intuition, okay? Because this is my intuition card here. You guys know how you're going to be perceived, or how people are going to look at you, because you're putting in that word, that new outlet, okay? You could be looking at things from, like I said, from a marketing perspective to say, this is going to take me to the next level, okay? All I got to do is put in my hard work and tie this new energy towards my brand, okay? And that's the awakening moment that you're going to have for your future success, okay? All right, I'm going to give you a card here from the money and how money coming towards you. Let's see here. Just some money advice for you guys. So we got transporter. All right. And we got parenthood, okay? Let's get started. We're going to start with transporter, okay? This card is a sign that things will start moving for you quickly, okay? So you guys, when you put in this hard work, things are going to be moving for you in a quick direction, okay? It's going to take, like I said, it's going to take time. Slow and steady wins the race, but you're going to start seeing subtle movements once you put in that hard work and develop that new outlook, okay? You guys are realizing, okay, you're like, what's a part of my brand that's making me stagnant, okay? What's causing me not to get to the next level? Once you start making that change and get that mental clarity, okay, you're gonna start moving in the right type of direction, okay? Of course, they have some advice as well. A career in transportation such as travel, driving, and shipping could appeal to you. You may need to travel for work or take action on a financial matter. So that's a little bit of advice as well. But I'm reading for transportation, transporter. You guys are going to be in a new energy to sort of move into the right direction in your career field, okay? To make things more flow and to make things in a slow and steady wins the race type of perspective and get to your goals effectively, okay? We got parenthood here. You have healing your inner child could unlock the path to financial abundance, okay? I believe that you guys are already doing that, okay? Because that's why you're saying less in a situation and you already had your glow up, okay? The people that's in your environment, I believe they need to start healing their inner child, okay? Because I think they're so used to competition, okay? They could have dealt with a lot of things with sibling rivalry, okay? And that sibling rivalry perspective, I always had them on this crisis type of mode because they're so used to competing with other people, okay? They take that energy into their relationships, they take it into their work environment, and guess what? That's not gonna have them get to that glow up type of perspective, okay? Because you lose your identity when you're focused on everybody else in your environment, okay? They're not 7 years old. They're not 10 years old, okay? They're not even 18 years old, okay, to be in this perspective where it's like, okay, you know what? I need to go about, competing with somebody else so I feel validated, okay? That's not going to serve them, okay? That's going to have them without money and trying to grip onto their reality, okay? Let's see. So we got some other things like this. We got some advice for careers like caregiving, teaching, pediatrician focus, or helping children. Could be some career advice for you guys, okay? And also we have this last message. Remember to nurture yourself as you work towards your goals, okay? So I've taken in that level as well too. Now, of course, you got the career advice, but make sure you nurture yourself, okay? Make sure you take time to really see what's going on in your environment. Don't overwork yourself. Be in a space where you're able to sort of say, okay, look, I can manage my time effectively. Let me make sure my schedule's in alignment and you're not feeling overwhelmed with situations when it comes down to your career growth, okay? Or when it comes down to your brand growth as well, okay? Like I said before, if things are not built in a day, make sure you take that time effectively to sort of grow in the right direction. And with that, I think you guys will be A-okay for the month of September, okay? All right, guys, if you like this reading, please like, share, subscribe for me. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Who am I? I'm the greatest. Who am I? I'm getting paid. Who am I? I'm so flagrant. Who am I? I'm the greatest. Who am I? I'm getting paid. Who am I? I'm so flagrant.